What's up, everyone? It's Matt here. Right now, I'm alone in the theater, but I shouldn't be alone for long. This is going to be a really abbreviated version of Real Talk, as right now it is just me, and shortly I'll be joined by none other than Nick Molbach himself. There was a lot of movie news this week, but due to uh, the Globes being last night and us wanting to cover that, and just all the craziness that was yesterday. We just felt that we were better off doing an abbreviated one today before Spin from the Reel, which you can catch at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central, and just quickly talk about some of the news that we got this past week. So, without further ado, let's get this thing started. Paramount Plus basically went all out. Granted, everyone will say, including me, that Paramount just said, "Hey, Disney, let us copy your homework." And it was rough, but they announced a ton of great new content. Really excited about it. The biggest takeaways, though, were the fact that Paramount Plus will now be the home of the Showtime Halo series, which a lot of people are looking forward to. We're supposed to see it in the first quarter of 2022, and it's pretty cool because nobody ever thought we were going to see Halo. This was supposed to be a movie at one point, then we were going to go on and get a television show on Showtime. We're like, all right, great, let's see how this goes. And then we hadn't heard anything about it since the casting of Master Chief. So it was kind of quiet for a bit there. And then you get this news that, hey, this show's now going to Paramount Plus instead of Showtime. It'll still be produced by Showtime, but they're going to put it on Paramount Plus instead, which is different. Nobody really expected that. I know I didn't personally, and it was really interesting to hear that. The second biggest takeaway from the Paramount Plus announcement, or Investors Day as they called it, similar to Disney, was the fact that they announced that Paramount films will be available on Paramount Plus 45 days after their theatrical release, which, in short, makes that window even shorter. That is a big plus in their column. That's something that not a lot of other services are offering right now. Granted, you have HBO Max offering the same day and date release for a month on HBO Max, and then it goes away and you got to rent it. But with Paramount Plus, you're going to like, no, it's going to go to the theater, and then after 45 days, you're going to have it right here on our service for you to watch, no problem. I feel like that might be the best model going forward, especially when COVID is over. We're talking about this whole situation of, do we go back to theaters? Do we stay at home? Ultimately, what we're going to do and probably see is other studios taking up this window. Fact of the matter is, not a lot of people like to just not a lot of people like going to the theater. Some people would rather pay for a service, wait a couple months, stay at home. Partis, how you doing, bud? Paramount Plus is going to take the age of streaming service to the next level, and I'm all in for it. Yeah, I honestly kind of agree with you. Although I am not a fan of the animation that they're doing on the new Rugrats show. That is something that left a bad taste in my mouth. Granted, it seemed like the same Rugrats. It just looks off. It just doesn't look right. So it was interesting to say the least. The other thing about Paramount Plus is they announced the start of Avatar Studios, which honestly, for a guy like me, that's great because I loved the Avatar Last Airbender series. yeah, that was creepy. Yes, it was. Partis. But no, I loved the Avatar The Last Airbender series growing up. I never watched Legends of Korra until this past year because it is on CBS All Access, which basically is Paramount Plus. Partis, I completely forgot about the live action Fairly Odd Parents. But that's going to be a show if I remember correctly, so that could be interesting. My question is, who do you have play Cosmo and Wanda? What's the quality of the show going to be? and there's a lot that you can do there. What I really want to talk about is this Avatar situation, though, because how, like, this series has basically been inert, dead. Nothing's happened in it for 10 years, almost, just about 10 or so years, and we're getting it back. We're getting a animated film right off the bat, and we might get continuations of Korra or excuse me, or Avatar: The Last Airbender. We may get prequel shows. We may get a new show with the next Avatar. There's just a lot that can be done there because this lore is so rich. And honestly, I will say this: the Legend of Korra only enriched that even more because they further explained the Avatar state and everything that went along with it. Like, that's what I loved about that show. I was shocked how much I loved the mythology that was added because of Legend of Korra, as someone who had not watched it until this past year. But I can't wait to see more. And granted, all this was kind of in retaliation to Netflix being to the creators, hey, screw you. We want to make this show how they want. Yeah, and that's what I just touched on, Pardis. Pardis, since you're in the chat, what do you want this movie to be? Do you want it to be a continuation of the original Team Avatar, or do you want to see Legend of Korra get a proper conclusion? But yeah, Netflix had they left the Netflix show. Reports had come out that that Netflix wanted to age up the characters and add in plots and everything. It's like, no, you don't understand. It's about these kids at these age and about this next generation taking the stand that they need to take. Well, Netflix wants to do what Netflix wants to do. So you want to know what they do? They make Avatar Studios and they move everything over to Paramount Plus. You gotta love it. Like, that's a ballsy move, and you can only respect it at that point. And here he is, the co-creator himself. Oh, drinking out of the Watto cup. Oh God.
Well, okay, so full disclosure.
The water.
This is the Watto topper. I just haven't had a permanent cup. So this is the Boss Nass. He's on the other side of the room. So I found these at an antique store, and now I love them. But I need straws that are better. So
yeah.
Hi everybody. Oh no, my straw is about to fall into my cup. This is about to be really tragic. I will not be able to drink this water that I am drinking right now. Oh God. Sorry, I'm having problems here, everybody.
Yeah, that Avatar news is still incredible because as someone who owns Avatar: The Last Airbender on Blu-ray and finally watched Legend of Korra this year, it just blew my mind that we're finally getting more. Yes, Connor, Paranormal Activity will be premiering on Paramount Plus in a Workaholics movie. I'm not a big Workaholics guy. I don't know much about Paramount or about Paranormal Activity.
That doesn't mean that it's not going to be debuting on their map.
I know it's gonna be debuting. I'm just going over the stuff I know I could talk about.
Well, I'm here now to not talk about that stuff as well. So.
But this is something I can talk about: a Pet Sematary series that is going to cover how that became a thing. It's going to be a prequel, and I love it. It's going to be creepy, and I wish Connor Taylor could come on to talk about this because I need the Spooky Boys thoughts. I need their thoughts. I think they should make a stereo show. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Do it to cover their news once a week. But I'm just going over what I can talk about. I should mention that the monthly subscription, the $10 monthly subscription, won't be the only choice. There's going to be a $5 subscription a month that is going to be advertising included. Connor, I want it to be a sequel to the 2019 film because I know you and I saw that together. We liked that film. We like it more than a lot of other people. But I think it's a prequel to the 2019 film. And I want to see I like when they said prequel and you're going to see how the Pet Sematary became a thing. I'm like, okay, you had my interest. Now I'm actually really curious.
I have a Watto cup.
So yeah, that was the big takeaways out of Paramount Plus. I still don't know how I feel about that. Just missed that You just missed me covering that, but it's 45 days after theatrical release, and yeah, it's a prequel. It's going to be interesting, nonetheless. If it's connected to the 2019 film, I'll be happy. Oh snap!
Yes, and there's the new Beavis and Butthead animated film, which I can take the reins.
Take the reins on because I've never watched Beavis and Butthead in my life.
So, so this is going to be apparently. I don't know if it's going to be a sequel type thing to the show, or if it's going to be a sequel to the movie. Although I guess everything is within the canon of that. So, yeah, like Beavis and Butthead Take America is the same series, I guess, as everything else is. So I'm excited. During the Super Bowl, my cousin, who him and I were Beavis and Butthead fans growing up, was like, "Oh wow, they're in the Paramount Plus trailer," and I had always thought that the series was being revived anyways. But what's incredibly important? Yes, okay, so that is with the new season. What's incredibly important is that like Paramount Plus is going to be bringing us so many like old MTV shows. I wonder if any of them are going to get revivals. But if I could watch every single season, well, I'm talking there's a certain style that I love. It's Celebrity Deathmatch, which probably will never get made ever again. It's Viva La Bam, which there's already too many issues to ever get another season of that. I love Viva La Bam. So if I'm able to watch every single season of that on Paramount Plus, count me in.
Yeah, Paramount Plus may be right up there with Disney Plus by the end of the year. So it's going to be great to see what we get out of this because Paramount. I love Disney Plus, but Paramount has a lot of stuff already going for it because they were CBS All Access first, and now they're just adding more. So you're going to get the nostalgia I've gotten with CBS All Access of watching all that Kenan and Kel, my current stuff, the Star Trek shows because they're fantastic. And yeah, I remember I woke up to the group chats. Connor's like, this is going to be pointless. And then there's like that they saved the heavy hitters, and Connor's like, nope, I'm on board.
When Beavis and Butthead got announced, he was like, you know what? He's like, I'm in. Is King of the Hill going to be on there too? Is my question. Or are we going to get all the Judge properties on there? But there's a lot of really good stuff.
King of the Hill is
Fox, maybe.
It's Fox. So
it used to be Fox. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, no. It was made by 20th Century Fox and on Fox. It's probably going to be a Hulu thing whenever it does get it. But yeah, like Paramount Plus has the Brian Coleman, the live sports with the mix of all the classic 90s shows is going to be great diversity for the brand. And that's what I'm getting.
Oh, it's already on Hulu. Okay.
Yeah. But no, I agree with that statement 110% because when you look at everything that they already have, you add the live sports, you add all this new programming like Halo and all these show revivals. This is the perfect way to hitting it for every single generation because people around our age, people who are older than us are going to want to show their kids something like Rugrats, watch Beavis and Butthead themselves.
Not with their kids, hopefully.
But without their kids, hopefully, yes.
My kids can watch Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, but it's really nice to see that, and I know we've just got a ton to talk about. And while Nick's here, I do want to talk about the Globes a little bit because
I nudged my headphones and you sound like you're in a hallway right now. Okay, go on. Sorry, it's not your fault.
No. The Golden Globes happened yesterday. Oh, wait, real quick before we move on. My problem is CBS doesn't have a lot I actually enjoy it, so I was mad, but now I'm like, gimme. And I think that's because with Paramount and CBS combining, because for a while there, they were actually separate. And then in the last year or so, they actually combined and became one again. And I think that's why Paramount Plus is hitting as hard as it is right now. Oh, God, put the water cup down.
Hey.
But no, we had the Golden Globes yesterday. Big winners: Nomadland, Best Picture winner for drama, Best Picture for musical or comedy, Borat subsequent movie film.
Which I'll be honest, weak category this year.
Yeah, when You
I
didn't
mean,
watch
listen.
You didn't watch Palm Springs.
Well, no, and Palm Springs is different. I'm just saying, like, and I'm giving Hamilton all the praise that it deserves. I'm just saying, like, it was a lot of the times when, I mean, it comes with the year. It comes with the year because it's like a lot of times they're trying to fight for movies to be pushed into that category just so they can nominate them. There wasn't a lot of that this year. You know what I mean?
No. I personally didn't care for Borat's subsequent movie film that much. Then again, I never saw the first Borat, so my opinion is a little bit different. I probably would have given it to Hamilton or Palm Springs. That's just me personally. But the winner of Best Actress in Motion Picture Drama was Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday. And you can watch that on Hulu currently. She beat out people like Viola Davis, Vanessa Kirby, Frances McDormand, and Carey Mulligan. That shocked me.
Yeah, I've never heard of this movie before, but it looks very good. It just
dropped a couple of days ago, literally before the Globes, which is why I was shocked.
Okay. She looks like she was good in it, but
Hamilton shouldn't have counted. I agree, but it's the Hollywood Foreign Press. People mock the Globes for a reason, including me. And then the biggest one, in my opinion, of the night came in the Best Actor of Motion Picture Drama, and that was Chadwick Boseman for his performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I watched it again last night. I was on the verge of tears. It's a powerful, moving film, and I can't wait to hopefully see him win the Oscar. So,
which I think he deserved, obviously, but I do love Riz, and I'll just say that. I mean, it's a strong, on both sides of the actress and actor sphere. It was an incredibly strong year for performance.
Yeah, Riz would honestly be my third ranked actor in this category, because another person who I felt really deserved the Best Actor was Tahar Rahim for the Mauritanian. I know you haven't seen that yet. It's available on digital in the next couple of weeks. I loved that movie. I was lucky enough to review it a few weeks back, and I was shocked. I did not expect it. And
Those are the best movies, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, well, it's a BBC film, so of course, there's no advertising for it whatsoever. But I was like, okay, let's check this out, and I was blown away by his performance specifically. Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, Rosamund Pike for I Care a Lot. I have not watched this. I've heard so much mixed stuff. I couldn't tell you whether or not she's good in it. And to be honest, I didn't see Music with Kate Hudson. I haven't seen French Exit, Emma, and I've only seen Borat subsequent movie film, and I think, like I said, wasn't the biggest fan. So, hey, she could have deserved the win. I would need to see all these other films before I made my own judgment.
And it's been such an interesting year that, there was an absolute positive mix of. There wasn't a movie necessarily. I think Nomadland probably was the one that got the most nominations overall throughout. But to me, it's like this was such an interesting mix of films.
Partis saying, "Do not watch Music, Matt. Just don't." I've heard that from so many people, Partis, including Jeff.
But the thing is like this was such an odd year because I feel like Nomadland was probably, I mean, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom got a lot of nominations, but like overall, it was kind of interesting that like how spread out. A lot of the movies that were winning or nominated for Best Picture didn't have a lot of nominations other than Best Picture, Best Actor every once in a while, Best Director every once in a while. It was strange to me to see the mix of movies and such when it came down to it.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that so much.
Because we really liked Judas. Judas wasn't nominated for Best Picture.
Once again, Hollywood Foreign Press for you.
Well, I understand, but I'm just making a point that I'm generally curious to know because this didn't leave me thinking of how the Oscars were going to end up going. You know what I mean? Usually the Globes are a precursor to, who might win the Oscar. And I think that we can see winners clearly here, but I'm just saying, like, overall, it kind of feels like I don't know what's going to be nominated for Best Picture.
Here, I will say this. When it came to the acting categories, for the most part, they hit it on the head. Jodie Foster won Best Supporting Actress for The Mauritanian. Totally understand that. Daniel Kaluuya, Best Supporting Actor, Motion Picture for Judas and the Black Messiah. Totally understand that. Beating out Sacha Baron Cohen, Jared Leto, Bill Murray, and Leslie Odom Jr. That very well could be the crew being nominated at the end of the day.
It was Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was Leslie Odom Jr. for Hamilton.
No. Even though I probably could have, since they nominated Lin-Manuel Miranda for some
reason. Which, he was very good in that movie, but I'm just saying, like, if they were going to, here's the thing, is if they nominated him for Hamilton and did not nominate him for One Night in Miami so it could get something besides Best Director for a nomination, even though it probably should have gotten a Best Overall Picture, that's just, my thing. And congratulations to Sacha Baron Cohen, just overall, for one hell of a night. He almost won 3 Golden Globes in one night, which I've never seen before.
It's happened a couple times. If I remember correctly, Donald Glover did it a few years ago.
Okay.
For Atlanta.
Oh, well, okay. I'm saying from a movie perspective. I haven't seen it much.
Okay. Well, let's continue on with the last few major categories, which are Best Director Motion Picture, Best Screenplay Motion Picture, and Best Animated, as well as Best Foreign. So, Best Animated Picture went to Soul, beating up the likes of The Croods, Onward, Over the Moon, and Wolf Walkers. Not the biggest Soul guy, but I saw this coming. When doesn't Disney win? Aaron Sorkin won Best Screenplay for Trial of the Chicago 7, beating out Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, Jack Fincher for Mank, Christopher Hampton and Florian Zeller for The Father, and Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. But Chloe Zhao ended up taking home the Director Award over Aaron Sorkin for Nomadland, which I thought was huge.
Yeah, and that almost felt like a Spirit Award moment for me. Yes. You know what I mean? Where, like, a person that should win it wins it. And I know that seems like a strange statement, but it's like, like that's where I feel like she would have had a better chance, where Viola Davis would have had a better chance, or Fincher would have had a better chance overall. And it's just interesting to me that, like, she won. I mean, I have a feeling Nomadland is going to be your that's driving the most Oscar buzz for me right now, that movie, in my opinion. So I'm generally curious to know, like, where all these are going to land. But I'm beginning to I need to watch it, but I'm beginning to fall into the Nomadland trap. I'm kind of surprised McDermott didn't win it, because she wins everything, and deservedly so. She's fantastic. But that's right, Taylor. I'm going to be sipping right out of this, buddy.
Yeah. And last major film award we'll talk about was Best Foreign Language Film, which went to Minari, which should not have been a foreign language film. It is an American film that just happens to be spoken in another language. It is A24. It was made in America. It's about an Asian American family. It's not a foreign film. That's all I got to say about that.
Which, I'm glad, by the way, that's the thing. It's like, I think that the Academy Awards clearly are going to get that right, and then you got another film that should definitely be thrown into that mix right there, because Minari is fantastic. So Minari deserved more than it was getting. It is a great film. Love that movie. And it's an American film. It's not a foreign film just because it's spoken in a different language. I mean, were people doing that for The Visit? Were people doing that for certain things when it came to years past? I'm just saying, I'm really interested to see how the Oscars end up pushing out this crop of movies, and I hope that the Oscars get it right.
Yeah. No, I agree 110% because it's a strong film. I believe it deserves to be nominated for Best Picture because, again, it is an American film. Give it the respect it deserves. Well, that's it for the Golden Globes, and we're gonna shoot through this DC news real quick after we cover Spider-Man: Far From Home, or not Spider-Man: No Way Home. After getting 3 fake titles in a single day from Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, and Tom Holland of Spider-Man: Phone Home, Spider-Man: Home Slice, and Spider-Man: Home Wrecker. The next day, we found out the real title is Spider-Man: No Way Home. How do you feel about that, Nick?
It's already fun to have a good old laugh and figure out where what this means for this film. And if I have to say, I think it's because this is his last movie in this deal. I think that you want to know where this home is? He's going to somehow end up in the Sony universe with Vulture, and he's never coming back.
He said this is the final picture in his overall deal of Spider-Man.
Well, he's gonna, and then guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna hand him a check, and they're gonna go, Tom, you want to play the role?
Well, he has said he only wants to come back if it's them working together.
We'll see. Fine. Then we're not. Then we're gonna get. I don't know. Jacob Tremblay is gonna be Spider-Man next movie. I don't know. It's fun to kind of hypothesize as to what's going on with this title because there's so many options. You know, that picture that they showed at the end of the trailer where the title was in big text and we had a bunch of little things around.
Cheddar Goblin saying, no way, Sony's dumb, but they're not. And he puts in the comments, that dumb. There's tons of MCU Holland Spidey left to come. This will also be the first MCU trilogy to have the same director. Yes, because that would have been Captain America if it weren't for Joe Johnston directing the first film.
Correct. I mean, good. I love John Watts.
Yeah.
I think he's fantastic. And I
love these movies. He's made it known that he would like to come back for Spider-Man 4 after Fantastic Four.
Which, if we get that, that'll be the first time we ever got a Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Like, I understand that they're not going, like Amazing Spider-Man 2. They're not doing, like... We would get a canonical 4th film in a Spider-Man universe. And I don't know. Hey, listen. I don't think that the other guys are popping up in this film. That's just me. I'm kind of riding the hype train with it if I can.
Yeah, and, I don't think they're popping up either, especially with how WandaVision's panning out.
If they do, is this your third? Does this count as the third film and 4th film for each of them?
Yeah.
Technically,
here's my thing. With how WandaVision is panning out, especially with this next one being the last episode.
I'm saying this is the 4th Spider-Man film because all of them tried to do way more than they wanted to, and they never ended up doing.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't see everyone, like, especially with what happened with the Evan Peters Quicksilver. I don't see much happening in the way of multiverse heading into this film because you would have too much to explain.
The only thing that I will say is that we're getting people who played villains as their classic counterparts, but that also could just be that they are this universe's version of that.
Yes.
But if that's the case, then I feel like there should be more turnover, and there hasn't been. That's just...
Well, let's be honest. Were you ever going to find anyone to play Doc Ock better than Alfred Molina?
No, but also
next part of the question. Do you think Jamie Foxx deserved a second shot of playing a different of Maxwell Dillon?
Yeah, I'll agree with you there, but I'm sure, I guess. Here's all I'm trying to say is here's where this gets confusing. Okay? And this is why I want to see this film very badly. I want to see what's it called? I want to see Morbius very badly. Because this is where all this confusion could be settled. Yes. Where is Toombs coming in?
Morbius got pushed back to like October, if I remember correctly.
and what's crazy is Morbius was obviously supposed to come out first. Would we know more about this Spider-Man movie if Morbius came out? Who knows? Because that's the thing. Is like if our theory is correct about, this is another universe's version of this person, that looked like the exact same Adrian Toombs, no different than anything else when it came to the Sonyverse. So I wasn't going into. I mean, sure, I was going into Morbius to be like, oh, this movie's gonna be okay. Like, I'm excited for it. I was more like that trailer that came out. At the end of it, there's Vulture from the MCU sitting there making vampire jokes at Morbius. I don't know. That's Morbius coming out was going to be my yeah.
And I mean, we'll see what happens. But before we head out, let's talk about the 3 pieces of DC movie news that came out this week. Rachel Zegler has been cast in Shazam 2, and we are getting a Blue Beetle movie. And finally, we are getting a Superman reboot, which is set to include a black Superman, which means we'll most likely be getting Calvin Harris.
Calvin Harris.
Yes.
Who's also a singer, by the way, just an FYI.
Yes.
I'm excited for all 3 of these news. I'm excited for the Shazam news. Shazam's such an enigma to me when it comes to its villains, because I think that she was casted as a villain, right?
No, they didn't say what she was cast as.
Okay. Well, still, just in general, Shazam's kind of an enigma when it comes to villains. I don't know them. Other than Black Adam, and in this universe, I'm supposed to believe that Black Adam isn't Black Adam, so
yeah,
whatever. And I would argue that we're gonna see him again at some point. Who knows when?
Yeah, it looks like we are getting the multiverse with DC, so that it could just be another world.
They're gonna mess it up so freaking badly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to say that DC is going to ruin the multiverse, and nobody's going to want an MCU multiverse because of it.
I mean, we'll see. What DC is doing is they're tying in their even cable TV shows, as we saw with Crisis, which was not good.
Which is a disaster. Because, if that was the route that you were going to end up going, then you should have just been doing it from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on
that. Here's what I'll say. I enjoy Blue Beetle and Young Justice.
Yes.
I'm excited to be seeing Val Zod because it's something different. People keep complaining about Superman. Well, here's Superman, but you're getting something different. Now everybody's complaining that we're getting something different. You can't please everyone.
I'm not.
I'm excited.
I'm not complaining because listen, overall, I just am not the biggest fan of the character of Superman because I just think that he's. There's no way that Superman shouldn't be destroyed. I don't know.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Superman's the most overpowered superhero in the world. That's just me.
Yeah. But overall, I don't know anything about Rachel Zegler. I know she's sung on YouTube. I know she's Maria in the upcoming West Side Story movie. But that's it.
Bring it on. Who do you want to do you have any predictions as to who you want to play Val Zod?
John Boyega. I love Michael B. Jordan, but I can't stand to see that name's man attached to every single project. I want someone different. Let some other people shine. That's all I gotta say about that. So John Boyega would be my pick.
I'm gonna say Eli Gorey, but that's just me.
No, that's a great pick, especially if you decide to go younger with it and you want it to continue on. But
John Boyega, give my boy something different. Hey, maybe give him a movie where he doesn't have to use his British accent, even though I don't know. Or wait, no, give him a movie where he needs to use his British accent. Why not?
I think he had to in Small Axe on Amazon.
Maybe you let Ray do it. I don't.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be opposed to Boyega. I have a feeling they're going to go younger because they're going to want to squirt out as many of these movies.
And see, that's why I throw Boyega in there because he's only 28.
You forget that. Yeah, I guess that is true. I
Yeah.
I feel like
Compared to Michael B, who's like 32, 33.
when
I
it
think it's
comes
20
to
years.
when it comes to Star Wars films, like 3 films feels like 30 years to me, sort of. And it's just like I feel like the people who were in The Force Awakens have been around for such a long time, other than obviously the main actors and stuff like that. That's not me trashing on Star Wars or anything. That's just me saying. I mean, I'm drinking out of a Watto cup right now. That's just me making me feel like I don't know. These characters and people have been around for way longer than they should have, and I mean that in Daisy Ridley and John Boyega in particular, because Oscar Isaac was a well-known name before.
He wasn't well known, but he was
He was well enough.
Initially, when cast, he wasn't well known. He didn't really blow up until a year or so before The Force Awakens.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, I said squirt out, Taylor.
Squirt out.
I said squirt out, Taylor. I thought of it. I went ugh, after I said it as well. All right, in my head.
But yeah, that's all we got. That was the condensed episode of Real Talk for you. You can catch me again in about an hour when I pop on Spin from the Real with Taylor, where we will have special guest Jesse Swift to talk about his match that is coming out on Wednesday.
I would also like to acknowledge that Chris Anthony Lopez, not Taylor.
Sorry, yes, Chris Anthony Lopez. And
squirt out.
But yeah, it'll be myself and Chris Anthony Lopez talking to Jesse Swift about his match on Wednesday, and just all the matches this upcoming week. But signing off, I'm Matt. That's Nick. This was a condensed version of Real Talk, and we'll see you on Sunday. Peace.